it is. New York is a great state, it's a great place to live. It's just that there's pockets of bad people, no matter where you go. Evil knows no boundaries, and bad people know no boundaries. If they want to commit a crime, or if they want to do something horrific, they're going to do it, whether it's in the mountains or in the cities. So it happens all over the place. But Jessica, any final words before we let you go?
Well, the only thing I'll say is that the professionals that work in law enforcement, they work for Customs and Border Protection, they work for the Sheriff's Department and natural resources and national parks. They're the utmost professionals. They're amazing
guys, it's Sam
people.
From
they are
After the Buzz podcast.
Salt of the earth.
I just want to come live.
They are the types
quick,
of people that
maybe
you
not
want
real
on the
quick, who knows?
situation, and they can answer this call. So
We
that's the only.
we have a situation in Idaho where some first responders, some firefighters were ambushed today, and they were unalived. And I have a lot of friends that live in that area, and I just want to find out what was going on. I just came back from family day with my own family, and so I'm just a little concerned. So I thought I'd just come on and process it all with you guys and just see what's going on. So we're just.
I'll say thank you so much for your service, sir, and thank you for having me on your beautiful program. I'm a long-time attendee, and I just can't thank you enough.
Thank you. Hey, somebody in the chat had a question for you. How big of an area is where this happened, population wise? Is it highly populated, or is it more maybe a lower population area?
It's probably dependent upon when the tourist season is, because right now it's starting to ramp up.
Was everybody Sunday?
Because Lake Coeur d'Alene is a beautiful lake,
yes,
and they have a huge golf course. They have beautiful resorts. They have beautiful just everything. The natural environment.
Let's instead, guys.
Go ahead. Do you have a quick patient update I can relay to Cookie Health? Stand by. Medical Command Central. Law enforcement requesting a roll call.
Hey, Shell, how are you doing? John's in the
gunshot wounds to the chest, no active wounds, alert no unit, time support.
Wow, so I hadn't heard that before. That sounds like it was an update about one of the patients right there. I had not heard that before.
Yeah, Sherry used to live in Idaho.
I may be wrong. Maybe it's about multiple patients. It seemed like it was about one of them.
2 gunshot wounds to the chest, no active wounds, alert no unit, time support.
Terrible.
So we have Cliff Ann. Hey, how are you doing, Cliff Ann? Good to see you.
AC5. Command Medical Group. Units from Central. Law enforcement requesting we do a roll call to ensure that everyone's accounted for. Central Medical Group. Awesome.
Yeah.
Medical Group.
I might not talk here for a second.
I've got Ambulance 61, Medic 32, Medic 52.
I am going to do
Medic 11
a little bit of a
staging. 51 transporting to Cookie Health, and 52, I believe, is up. Correction, Medic 13 is going to be retrieving another patient.
You guys couldn't really hear me last night on the roof. Can you guys hear me okay? Am I loud enough?
Wi-Fi is landing at the church now. If there's an ambulance needs transport there, they're available. Copy. How many?
Not loud enough.
So far, just one.
Not loud enough. That's my.
Just one. The next one should be about 10 minutes out from that one, and the third 10 from that. Just have them stand by for the time being. Central.
And do I sound okay? Do I sound funny or hollow? I know there's no echo. That's why I'm wearing the headphones.
Copy. DC-31 is staging.
It says I lived.
Maybe a helicopter or something.
I miss it. Praying for the. Firefighter situation.
I can't copy your traffic. It's muffled.
Cliff Ann says, my dad was retired as assistant fire chief. He passed away a year ago.
I got that delivered up to the scene. I'm getting out, and that's over.
That really sucks. My buddy's dad was the fire chief. He was like the first LA fire chief in Los Angeles. A little muffled.
Be advised, Cooney Hill's got 4 bays open reserve. They can take 4 commas. I've also got lifeline on the ground.
I could just switch to the other microphone.
Chief 107, engine 15. Go ahead. Can you send me 2 more ambulances up the road? They're going to encounter tender 12. I want them to park there and wait for my instruction. Copy all. What? You know. Chief 107, engine 15. There's 3 pedestrians that came down from the upper parking lot who are walking down the road. They have 1 dog. Again, 3 pedestrians, 1 dog, who could use a ride back to the command post. They need to stay there for law enforcement. Engine 15, command, what area are they in again? They're walking down Nettleton Gulch. They'll continue walking if no ride shows up. Copy, I've got 901 going to pick them up. Engine 15 copies. Central Medical Command from EMS 91. We are en route to the
testing, 1, 2, 1, 2. I think that does sound better.
All right, so that's some more of the replay of the scanner traffic.
1, 2, 3.
And let me just write this down.
Test, 1, 2.
I do want to just play. That's live. I do want to play just briefly
testing,
for those who didn't hear
1,
it,
2,
what the
3.
initial call was. The initial call about shooting. In case you haven't heard it.
Yeah, we were out rock hunting down at the
pretty,
river, and I came
terrifying, and it's also
so
it's not that long. So I'm just going to put that up there. If you give me a second, let me just find it here.
I just wanted to
I have to find exactly where it is. Is this where it was right
I know
here?
there's 2 that have passed away. If we can, say some prayers for them, that would be amazing.
And why can't I hear that? Oops.
I bet you if I check my phone,
So this is a replay of when the firefighters first reported the shooting right here. This is a replay of that.
Central BC.
Hold on.
Central BC 5. Central BC 5. BC 5 off state. Send law enforcement right now. There's an active shooter zone. There's shot. BC 3's down. BC 1's down. Everybody shot up here. Law enforcement, code 3 now up here. Oh, 551, 10 or 14 up here. Stop. Get out of the way. 10 or 14. Engine push 551. Do not come up here. 551 copies. Remaining staging.
Yeah, it is tragic. Do I sound better, guys?
Central from 551.
551.
Can you get an ETA on life flight, please? Central Medic 1.
Medic 1.
You're busy. You see what life flight has to offer. Go ahead and get it started. I'll be 100 page. Is that the upper parking lot? Is that upper parking lot? Up on the dirt parking lot. We need law enforcement up here immediately. Law enforcement up here immediately.
Copy, upper parking lot. Immediately out, law enforcement.
Central, we've got another Coeur d'Alene firefighter down. Needs help immediately. We need law enforcement immediately.
I copy, another firefighter down. Continuing law enforcement.
All right, so that was a replay of when they first called in the shooting there. But really terrible. They went up there to fight the fire, and 1 or more people just started shooting at them. And the search continues for these people. At least 2 dead. Well, 2 dead. We know of 2 dead, 2 firefighters dead. And one reportedly in surgery, and possibly a number of others, but we don't have an exact number. Very little currently.
Oh yeah, I checked. That sounds way better. So how was everybody's Sunday? I know this is a bummer, man. There's a lot of white supremacist militias up there, and that's kind of why I was just checking.
One of our viewers said the shopper is scanning the
woods.
That is a sheriff's
I just not
Spokane Sheriff's Office helicopter.
And I just pray
that's
that
on
it's
adsvexchange.com.
Not
flying around.
Related. It's most likely probably drug lab related, and what I mean by
thank you so much to our moderators.
It's not the white
Beth Mythical.
You know what? Let them all just hide out and be up there, and
she is moderating over there. Robert's Bay Queen, Janet D over there on YouTube.
They can live in their own world. I don't want
Fashion Girl, David Green, 46. Good luck, Duck, Idaho Star.
Ideology.
I got that fire. Matthew Co, high 3.
I'm almost
McRiches, Sarah, and Surly Dev. Thank
most
you.
Most likely, probably a drug lab or someone
over there on Facebook moderating.
I heard someone mention maybe it's
has been there.
The Marine
Shannon
dad that unalived his young precious girls.
Paul Anderson.
Maybe he. I
Christina Neal, Margaret Riley,
alive
Linda
anymore.
Larry Misha moderate for us on X. And thanks to people for your support of the channel. I'm not usually I would be kind of naming people.
I know my friends from Europe. I have some friends in the Netherlands.
Because of the nature of the stream, I'm going to continue focusing on
amazed
breaking news.
When we
I hope that's understandable, but I do very much appreciate
they are dumbfounded by it.
You supporting the channel.
They really are. They're dumbfounded by it. They just can't believe that there's so many guns. That's the first thing they can't believe, and the second thing they can't believe is that.
So we'll see if we get anything new,
and that the guns get in the hands of bad
people. The scheduled press conference, which is in a little less than 2 hours.
Can get guns in other countries, in Europe.
Seems. I mean, in the absence of, I'm just assuming in the absence of anything else, I'm just assuming that the manhunt is going on.
But.
I mean, you're looking at the. Let me just show you this area we're talking about here on Google Maps.
You have to really check out. You can't have any kind of history to receive a gun.
This is the shooting, roughly speaking, in this area here. But I mean, if you just look on Google Maps, there's a lot of trees and mountain area. Look, there's a side view there. But. It's a wilderness area, or
US 53 Central Ops 2.
So, I don't know if the people went up into the mountains or hills, but there is a lot of green.
They weren't
going to the east.
They were just
it's a national forest. There's Coeur d'Alene National Forest here. These are national forests up here. Idaho Panhandle National Forests. So. You can imagine it being a difficult search area. But
thank you, Treese Norris.
It's not like they don't have anywhere. It's not like they're boxed in the sense of there's a lot of it's a giant national forest.
There's a lot happening in Wisconsin and in Idaho. Of course, I have another channel.
There are federal law enforcement there, local. I'm sure there's state as well.
You have traffic?
And then, of course, we got the Kohlberger trial.
53 at Penny Health, covering for medic 34.
In Wisconsin, we have the what just happened.
Correction,
it's not super important.
I'll see if I have any new photos.
Did I know you were that close to Seattle?
I'm not sure.
I think I did know that.
Give me one moment here.
Let's see what's going on in there.
Let me just see if I have any new photos for you.
We're talking about Canadian digital service taxes.
That looks like the same, but let me throw this over here.
I think they absolutely should call in the National Guard.
Actually, you can see here from
special
Reuters, 2
National-
firefighters killed in Idaho shooting, at least 1 gunman still active. They have nobody in custody right now that I've heard of. And I'm going to show you these photos here from Reuters. Here are some of the photos. A photo of the fire. And here's some photos that were Reuters took in the area there.
Comment, Sam,
The
can
law
you
enforcement
turn your
vehicles.
footage from the other channel down just a bit so I can hear your commentary, please?
That says Kootenai
Yes.
County Police. Kootenai County Ambulance.
Check, 1, 2. Just let me know if that's better. I can always turn me up to this. This is a different microphone than the one in the square one that I use. So I'm in a different mixer. So I've been having a hard time getting the levels. I just need him to talk.
Put the flight tracker back up. Reuters says the sheriff, county sheriff, urged people to stay clear of the area around Canfield
How's that?
Mountain,
Is that better,
a nature zone
Jackie?
popular with hikers near Coeur d'Alene. He said, the sheriff, we are prepared to neutralize the suspect or suspects who is currently actively shooting at public safety personnel.
Nick Pearl says, I went to Creme 2 News in Spokane. It's good coverage. He
said the shooter or shooters were using high-powered sporting rifles to fire rapidly at first responders.
One of these days, I'm going to connect it to my computer somehow so we can.
He said the shots
we can see any TV station in the world. Channel 4 London, Channel 2.
There were multiple shooters involved,
Kentucky.
but we don't know that there were multiple shooters involved.
Disregard.
Let me see if I can.
But it may be multiple people.
KRM 2 News Spokane.
All right, hang on. Is there a new report? Hold on a second.
We just talked about moving to Spokane yesterday.
The county has not posted anything new that I saw. Hang on.
There you go.
Has the county posted something? I just checked the county page. Hold on. Breaking news. Hey guys, breaking news. Brand new from the county. Look at this. I'm reading it with you. Brand new from the county. This evening, members of the SWAT team located a dead male on Canfield Mountain. A firearm was found. Nearby. Additional info will be provided during the press briefing. The shelter in place is being lifted. It looks like they got the shooter. The shelter in place is being lifted, but there is still an active wildfire. Wow, big breaking news. There is the press release. There it is. They just posted this. I mean, I think some of you had seen it earlier. They just posted it on their Facebook 1 minute ago. Is there anything else there? That's it. That's the press release right there. Wow. Looks like they got him.
Yeah, Kim, the guy
looks like they got him.
Passed away. I guess his gun was nearby. I tried to get to channel 2.
So let's read this again. but it looks like they have found the shooter. One person, it's looking like, dead. This evening, members of the SWAT team located a deceased male on Canfield Mountain. A firearm was found nearby. Additional information will be provided during the scheduled press briefing in an hour and 45 minutes. At this time, the shelter in place is being lifted. However, there is still an active wildfire on the mountain. Residents in the area are advised to be prepared and ready should further action need to be taken. Follow official sources for the most up-to-date information. So this suggests to me that what this suggests is that I can't imagine they would lift the shelter in place if they thought another shooter was running around.
They knew for sure they wouldn't do that.
So the only sense I can make of this is that they think they have everybody in custody. And since they only mentioned one person, my thought is that they think there was one shooter. I'm not sure, but they mentioned one person dead with a firearm nearby, and they say we're lifting the shelter in place. Yeah, some of our viewers think he took his own life. That certainly is possible. We don't know that for sure. And
he might have been injured.
Hold on a second here.
Made his way to
breaking update. Police say they have found a deceased
somewhere else.
Male on Canfield Mountain with a firearm nearby, and they have lifted
Nano 2
the shelter in place order.
Well, I think it's only 3 Nano 2. The 2 rest in peace, the firefighters, first responders.
Wow.
And the
wow, guys.
That actor.
So again, that certainly looks to suggest that they have found the shooter dead. That's what it certainly looks like.
Kim says
now maybe he took his own life.
Kim says, I have a lot of friends in the USA and I worry about them all the time when stuff like this goes on. I have 3 adult children in Los Angeles, and when anything in LA goes on, I mean, I don't care how close or far they are from it. It just makes me worry for about a week. I don't sleep well. I just think something bad's happening all the time. I used to obsess on it, and I worked on it with my therapist. And I just, I have to do that separation. There's a Buddha talks about the suffering that we get from attachment to family members, and in a strange way, Siddhartha Gautama talked. He's a teacher. He's not a god, and he never wanted to be a god or worshipped or a religion, based around him. But that's his first thing, like, detach from your kids when they become of a certain age, because of the suffering that we have, worrying from them. I don't know what made me digress into teachings from Siddhartha. Jeez. Come to After the Bars. You never know what the F you're going to get. Oh, sorry. Let me hit play.
Maybe he was shot by law enforcement or somebody else. I don't know. But it says they found him dead. Well, again, so we just don't know if he was shot yet by law enforcement.
Another shooter.
When you read that, it kind of sounds like maybe he took his own life.
Yes, my fingernails are still blue. That's what Kim is laughing at right now. She doesn't even have to tell me what she's laughing at, and I know what she's laughing at.
Wow. Big breaking news.
Because I know nothing I said was that funny, but my fingernails
Thanks to people in the chat. Some people in the chat had said they had
sorry, I'm interrupting.
Were aware of this report, and I went online and I couldn't find it on their social media, and then it just popped up there when I was checking. So I appreciate the chat mentioning it. Police never said there were multiple shooters. They never said that. Police said there might be. Look, I said this. It still has not been confirmed. This certainly makes it look like there was one shooter. But I said this early in the broadcast. It's very common. I would say it's quite common when shootings happen that are big news to hear reports early on that it might have been multiple shooters, and then often it turns out to be one. I don't know why that is. Maybe, but it regularly happens. So.
Well, that might be it for now until they do a press conference. I'll be watching, see if they do a press conference, and we'll break back into it.
I got to put up the time of the next briefing.
4740 QP.
Okay, so the next briefing, police will be holding a press briefing.
Probably any minute now. Jackie says, I hope you and Mariana and Hazley had a beautiful and blessed day. Enjoy them. They are a blessing to you. I know you know, but everybody else needs to know. Prayers are always with you. Good prayers. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been rough. I mean, nothing. I mean, I have buddies of mine that say, these are all white boy problems, or just because they think in race. Old habits are hard to break. They're not racial, but it's a funny way to say, like, we have so much privilege being Americans, and the things that I obsess about and worry about, yeah, we can be late with rent. Yeah, we can be behind on bills or this or that. But we always have a roof over our head, and we always have food in our bellies. And there's so many other people that have so much more suffering than we do, that I can still wake up grateful, even though, other things, we're having a hard time with other things. So, yeah. Another way to say that these are white boy problems is to say these are American problems, or first world problems. That's the original saying is, man, these are first world problems. There's other people in third world countries that have way bigger problems than this, like drinking water. So, hey, Spokes Dexter, it's been a while. It's good to see you. I do too. I have so much respect for firefighters and police officers. I really do. On the back of my truck, well, my license plates are in memory of fallen officers. And then in the back of my truck, I have a white badge with the blue line, which is for fallen officers. And it means something personal to me. And I'll get into that one of these shows. I don't think I've ever talked about that. And then on this Jeep I used to have, I had a firefighter sticker, memorial firefighter sticker. And hey, Theodore, good to see you. Hey, Thor Tup, good to see you. Yes, USA had big problem. Trump. I'm not going to disagree with you on that right now. I don't necessarily agree, but we'll just let things play out the way they are. I've been watching a lot of stuff on Israel, Iran, and Palestine these last few days, and I want to do some shows on it, but I don't know if we are that channel, even though it's something I'm starting to be informed on a little clearer. And it's only because I want to know what the F my president is doing right now my president just happens to be Trump. So I've been kind of obsessively watching everything I can on both sides of the argument for all the governments in place over there. And I'm starting to form an opinion, and I might do a show on it, even though I know you guys might not be interested. I still might just do one for my own to process some things that I want to process. I'm definitely not going to be a voice, a well-informed voice for one side or the other, or for one ideology or the other. But because of Trump going against his mandate, I'm deep diving stuff a little more than just the surface. I guess I'll just put it like that. So, I pray for discernment, and, we'll just go from there. Yarbro says, the problem is the Second Amendment shall not be infringed on owning guns. FYI, I do not own a gun. Yeah, I don't own a gun either. And it's not because I'm a felon. I mean, I can't own a gun as a felon. I could get one. My house doesn't ever get searched. I'm not on probation or parole. I could easily get one and be okay. I don't like having guns around. I just don't. I've never been a gun guy, and I've owned guns before, but I wasn't like, hey bro, check out my new gun, or to show guns. And I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. Definitely not against people having them, though. That is their right, and my neighbor might save my life someday because he has a gun, but I leave it in God's hands. If I'm to be killed because I don't have a gun, then I'm to be killed because I don't have a gun. If it's not that way, it'll be something else. I get run over by a bus, or my daughters drive me crazy into the loony bin, and I just, die from stress and heart failure.
Sorry, call S3 Henry.
I'm going to fast forward this.
At 12:30, says it right there on the media release. So I think at this point we just have to wait for the. But let's see what else gets reported on this before. I mean, I'll be on the air until the press conference. So
I didn't hear when the press conference was.
Yeah, a number of people have been messaging and writing in the chat about
press briefing at
Travis
9:30
Decker.
p.m.
Travis Decker,
so that would
is
be
a man
10:30
who
p.m.
is
our
being
time. So
searched
that's like
for
another
weeks has been searched for. He is from Central Washington State,
hour and a half.
and he is believed to
hour
have
and a half
shot and killed
exactly.
his 3 young daughters.
As I look at the clock,
I have not seen any reporting at the moment that the person who did this was Travis Decker. So.
Yeah, see, they're talking about Travis Decker.
Anything
That's
about it,
the
I'll let you
gentleman
know.
who
but
took out his
Travis
3
Decker was
lovely,
being looked for in Central
girls.
Washington, although he could have been somewhere else by now.
But
again, I've heard nothing.
Nitpro says hunting in Montana is big too. It sure is, and I could have a rifle legally because I got my hunting rights back. When you get off paper, you get your hunting rights back. Because I have the right in Montana, in the Montana state law, I have the right to feed my family, and a lot of people feed their families with hunting. And if I ever did hunt, that would be the only reason to hunt. It wouldn't be to hang up a rack on my wall or to take a picture with a dead elk or anything like that. But hunting is huge here. And plus, if I want to eat from hunting, I'll buy a fishing pole. I can walk I can take a 3-minute walk and drop a fishing line in and catch a pretty big trout. So Jackie Zero says, I managed a family business, lived behind it. You're damn right. I'm going to protect myself and fam. Husband in road work, construction, gone a lot. Oh, man. Listen, if I was gone from home, I assure you, Jackie O'Shore, that Mariana would have multiple pistols, one under her pillow, one on her nightstand, one in her car. But I'm just home a lot, and I'm a pretty big guy, and I can protect us against most situations. And you know, I'm a fighter. You know, I'm not a bully or anything like that, but you know, I've been in a few scuffles. I'm not afraid to fisticuffs. No, Danette, where are you going? No. Oh, is it Kim going to bed? Yeah, Kim. It's late where Kim's at. Good night, Kim. I love you, sister. Lava when you're near me. Do you guys remember what movie that's from? Let me do it again. And I'll do the voice that he does it in. Lava when you're near me. That's right, guys. It's movie night. My guns are for protection, not used to hurt anyone. Amen. Amen, Antonia. Antonia Flores. I knew an Antonia. It might have been an Antonita or something. It might not have been Antonia. But it was Atoni something. She was Italian. Spokesperson, it should be the only reason to own a gun, Sammy. Also, my pops taught me how to hunt from a kid and how to respect guns. Hell yeah. I love that, Spokes. Torch Song Trilogy. Good, I'm glad, Danette. Torch Song Trilogy? Nope. I'll do it one more time. Not that you guys really want to hear it. Lava when you're near me. I just love doing it. And I've talked about this movie before. I've done that quote from the movie. I'll tell you what, I will, I want to give a hint. How about, Jackie, you're not a gangsta? No, you're so close though. And the reason why I say you're close because it was by a comedian that was like Robin Williams, but way back in the day. I'll just say what movie it is. It's The Bellboy with a Bellboy. Was it The Bellboy? The Bellboy with Jerry Lewis. How can you vote on a clown? I mean, that's objective. Nope, not Mask. Eddie Connie. Yeah, Jerry Lewis. Yep. Can you picture him now? Oh, what's going on here? I thought he was talking.
I need to take about 1 minute because I need to take a minute.
Take a leak.
So I'm going to do that right now and then come back.
This guy's going to be me in like 20 years. I'm going to be clean cut with a tie, sitting on YouTube with looking like a total newscaster, just doing the news, folks. No, it was the one where he was a bellhop. He was like a
out of the way. Yes, give me 1 minute. I'm going to come right back in 1 minute.
Kimmy, it was the one where he worked in the hotel. I don't think it was called Bellboy. It was something like that. Antonio Flores says, Thurfop, I hope you don't mean President Trump because I support President Trump 100%. I do too. I support him 100% too. Just making sure that that he's good. You know, this guy wrote for Seinfeld and SNL. The guy we're watching right now did? Caddy Connie and La Malfinda? Yeah, well, I'd rather have a Wild West gangster in the White House than Kamala Harris any day of the week. I mean, that's without even saying I support Trump. You know, that's just the obvious. Or the last guy's name, Joe Biden. So it's just one of those things. Google it, Sam. Like who this guy is? I mean, he has an SNL voice for sure. That is for sure. How can you say Trump are good? Oh, it's easily to say Trump is good. It's super easy. The country's in a safer, better place.
Thank you for your patience. I'm going to take off my headphones, my earbuds.
The jobs already improving.
We have
just
about
too
an
much.
hour
But
and
we're not going to
20
talk about
minutes
politics tonight,
until
brother.
this press
Or
conference.
sister. I'm just saying, brother,
Again, it certainly
you have a
appears
male on your
that police have
avatar,
found. Oops, I think I paused for a second. We have about an hour and 20 minutes till this press conference, and it certainly appears that police
we don't care
found
to have
the person
different
they believe is the
opinions
shooter
on this channel
dead with a weapon.
Regarding politics, religion, as long as people are respectful. We don't care. Just Kim alone. If I was anybody else, she would probably stab me in my neck. Kim's as left wing as they get. But I trust her judgment, and I trust it. No, you have wrong. No, you have wrong, mister. See you later, Thurtup or whatever. You have been banned by Sam. I just said, as long as you're respectful, now you're going to tell me I'm wrong. And I said we're not going to talk about politics. So you get the old boot. Well, that was fun. You know, my rule is to not, ban anybody or remove anybody, but sometimes you just I know where this is going. So, yeah, it's absolutely okay to disagree. What's the topic about tonight? Well, it was this, if that's what you're asking, Antonia. It was this, but I want to talk a little bit about recovery tonight, a little bit. We can talk about prison. Tonight's the night for night yard or yard time. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I have no topic. We can talk about stress. Been stressed lately, but the things that I've been stressed out about is, hey, Darcy's. The things I've been stressed about are just, like I said, first world country stuff. And I'm just grateful that I'm here. Kim, are you saying you and Thumb Pearl chat all the time, or me and you chat all the time? Get out before you give your power away. That's right. Yeah, absolutely, Kim. Same stuff we're all stressed out about. I'm no one special or have more stress than anybody else. Yes, grateful to be alive. Oh, yes. What about Karen Reed? You promised, Sam. Yes, me and you. Yep. Okay. I was just hoping I just didn't block like a good friend of yours. I would go unblock him. If you say he's a good dude, he's a good dude. Yes. Why don't I talk about that? Let me get it set up, Danette. Just un momento.
Been nearby. So, and the shelter in place has been lifted.
I'm gonna keep the this SNL guy playing while I get everything ready. So yes, we're going to talk about Karen Reed and some like new.
Oh, by the way, Hunter Bertrand,
not really evidence, but a call
with
to
the FBI. This is a local news outlet in Spokane, KXLY News. KXLY News. Hunter Bertrand reports that crews are starting to leave. Police crews are taking down command posts and clearing out of the area. So we've seen that the police helicopter left the area and no police helicopter is currently flying around in the area. We just heard that local report that police on the ground are clearing out of the area. Police have lifted their shelter in place. So everything we're hearing suggests that they think they have the shooter and he's dead. Now, I guess there could be a couple. If there's more than one shooter, I would think they would know where that person is too, because they're clearing out of there and they haven't said anything about a second person. So my assumption is right now that there was one shooter. They believe there was one shooter. They found his body dead, and that's what they think that, and that's why they're lifting the shelter in place. But we're going to find out when they do their press conference. By the way, CNN is showing a shot of the procession as well. My guess is maybe there might be other outlets showing it too. But I don't believe I have live video. Well, it'd be a different stream. I'm not going to bother with that right now. You can go to is the BC Preacher showing it? You can go to his stream. Go over there and check if he's showing it right now. No, I don't see it on his stream right now. Maybe he showed it before, or we'll show it after. But anyways, I am seeing one news broadcast showing the procession for the 2 dead firefighters who are reportedly being taken to Spokane for their autopsies. Yeah, guys, the shooting area is Pacific time. I have looked.
Okay, guys, I'm going to
monitor
the press conference, so we might.
You can just Google it, and you can see.
Let me monitor him so I don't get it. So basically what we're looking at is we're going to look at some video footage that this YouTuber found, or not found, but put together, stuff from last year, stuff from this year. the same videos, the same photos. There's another video that I wanted to show. Where, and I think I did show it one time. I wonder, is there going to be an investigation in the sheriff's office? Why didn't anyone go into the house? Why? It's Karen Reed trial. Yes, exactly, Jackie. Why didn't anyone go in the house? And you guys have all seen my shows where I kind of like, I don't prove that Brian Alberts is lying, but I just like I identify all the little signs and the things he says, and me being a people person, ex-convict, been around lots of liars. I've seen all the things, right? All the tips and tricks and everything. So, but anyways, so this YouTuber found this, put a video together, and I want to watch it with you guys. I'm going to be stopping it here and there to talk about it, but this is a must see. This is a must see. This the person that put this out, she doesn't even really do stuff like this, like YouTube videos. She put this video out, and it's she's gotten over 100 times reaction from this one video than any other video on her channel. Over 100 times. It's probably more like 1,000 times more, because of the things she's found. And then with the juror, the jury foreman, saying that he is going to that he's calling for a new investigation, which is what Jackie is asking about. Look, that investigation never ended. Like, the feds are still investigating that situation. There's no way in hell that they're not going to do nothing after watching the second trial, after watching what I believe to be ex parte communications. Like, look, there's some smarter guys than me that are than me and a lot of these other commentators that are noticing these things, and it's going to be amazing. Oh, thank you so much for the super chats, folks. Apologies for not being around, Sammy. I had my beloved 15-year-old Jack Russell put to sleep 2 weeks ago. Today, it has knocked my sobriety to shit. I'm devastated. Much love to you and the fam. Kiss, kiss. Spokes, look, don't beat yourself up over the sobriety thing. We can't. It's when we start marking, like, oh, I got 4 months, I got 6 years, I got this. That's all ego. That's sobriety ego, I call it. And that's one of the biggest things that can knock out your sobriety. That's first of all. Second of all, if my cat died, I would be a hot mess. I would be drinking for sure. So, I hope you're okay. We all hope you're okay. I want to send my love, and you're definitely going on my prayer list. And just that you give yourself some grace. If you went back out and drank or did whatever it is, even if it's heroin or it's not all the same, but it feeds the same monster no matter what it is. And so please don't beat yourself up over it. And I'm not saying you said you were or anything. I'm just saying from my history and from when I've gone out and relapsed, the biggest thing that kept me in longer relapses was me beating myself up over the initial, F up. So yeah, I'm so glad you're here tonight. I am so glad you're here tonight. And it's really good to be honest about that, like you just did. Not that you need to be honest to us but even like to yourself. But it's good for us, for me at least, when I hear someone go back out, because it just lets us all know that it can happen to any of us at any time for any reason. And that's a pretty big reason. It's definitely an excusable offense. So I don't know. I hope you're okay. I really do. I hope you're okay. Yeah, so the the feds are investigating it still. They're investigating it. People are going to go down, hands down. At the very, very least, there's going to be a shit ton of subpoenas go out and a shit ton of depositions happen, and people are going to be put under the gun. And if you lie to a federal agent, you're done. So the people that didn't actually do the murder are going to tell. They're gonna talk. I don't care if it's their husband or their brother. They're gonna talk because they're not gonna go down to prison for something someone else did. And if they get caught in it, because the guy who did it, which is most likely Brian Higgins, if he ends up getting busted, he's gonna talk. He's gonna say, yeah, Jen McCabe knew, Brian Albert knew, Chris Albert knew, they all knew. And then guess what? You're hit. And they'll come at him like say Jen McCabe, Brian Albert, and Brian Albert's wife. Say they're all getting him. They're all talking to the feds, right? And they say, nope. Swear to God, it had to have been Karen. Nothing happened at the house. And then Brian Higgins say he gets busted, and he just like, yeah, okay, I did it. But you know what? They all knew about it. They'll say, you know what? We'll make sure we put in a good word with the U.S. attorney if you tell us everybody who knew and everybody who covered up for you. And if it was any of those people that lied on the stand, first of all, that's their hit for that. And then lying to a federal agent, yeah, you're in so much trouble. I remember when my lawyer first told me that. He's like, man, you can't lie to these DA guys. I'm like, well, I'm not telling. He was like, okay, well, fine. We'll just say you're not going to talk. You plead the fifth. And he's like, better do it that way than it, because if you lie and say, oh, it wasn't so-and-so, or it wasn't me, or it wasn't you, it's a federal offense to say that. So I was like, what? That doesn't even make sense. It's like, yeah, you can't lie to those guys. Just because it's in our shit, in our, I don't know, not constitution, but it's in all of our titles and laws. And so yeah, it's nuts. Spokes is a cool name, huh, John? So anyway, we're going to watch this little viddy VOD. And I love how you guys are like just giving Spokes all the lovin's. We are all sinners. Enough said, right? I would add to that, we are all filthy rags. Because not only are we sinners, we are just flesh. We are like these movable, soul-filled like mounds of flesh that desires to lie. We desire good feelings. We desire mind-altering chemicals. We desire blue fingernails. Oh man. Yeah, absolutely, Spokes. Yeah, I never kept count, but I know this is my safe space, and I thank you for that. Yeah, for sure. I see old Tommy's building his channel up again, the lifeboat. And I don't know, part of me wants to say, like what everyone forget that like he like confessed to like committing like not crimes. They weren't crimes, but they were crimes against his people he said that were his friends. And he committed a crime against me for the things that he said to Reese behind my back about me and all the things. So he never apologized to me, and he denies that he was ever in a bad place. Like, just tell me like, yeah, I was in a bad place. I relapsed or I didn't relapse. I'm sorry, brother, for, saying those things. He just has a history that's hard to get past. And, raping that girl when he was in high school. I'm not going to call him a child molester. That's not what he is. but he's definitely, I don't know. I don't know. We're only as good as our friends, and I don't. He doesn't think he did anything bad. Like, he'll say it, but in his heart of hearts, he doesn't. Remember, I've had personal conversations with him about a lot of things, not those things, but a lot of things, and I know how he operates, and I know his hidden scams, right? That I really didn't even realize that, like, oh, that's grifty, that's scammy, until I knew the whole picture, and then I'm like, oh man, yeah, that's not the way I wanna roll on this platform, and he's just doing the same thing. But now he's just financially together. And look, the only reason why he's still doing videos is because he's under contract to do videos for his voice. He has to do videos for 2 more years. So he can't stop doing videos, or that money stops coming in. So, I mean, I'm not mad at him. I'm not. But it's funny that all the people that have even left my channel and gone back to him, not because of anything I did or said, it's just that, that's where they came from, and that's fine. We all can go wherever we want. It just bums me out because I feel like people think that they can't watch both. Me and him both. They feel like they have to be on a side, and that bums me out. But okay, back to the Karen Reed video before Danette kills me. Jackie just says, "Don't be dissing Hazley's hard work. It makes my heart warm. Letting her have this memory forever." Yeah, that's right. I'm going backwards to see. I agree, Sam. Higgy did it, and he was singing like a bird. Now Proctor may go to prison for because he's an idiot. Yep. You'll see a lot of people are going down. A lot of people are going down. Okay, so in this video, they're going to show some video, and so you just have to kind of pay attention. They're going to show video of how it looked originally and what the changes were made, and then I'll explain why those changes were made, why the prosecution felt that they needed to make those changes, and that'll be the interesting part. I mean, it's all interesting, but that'll be the good stuff. I know we can't hear this right.
Maybe you can't, but I could. Now, I'm going to show you some differences here I have seen.
Okay.
Hey, guys, I have some details. Oh, my gosh, that I have seen from various videos and clips of they have changed and altered things from the first trial to the second trial.
Jackie, I'm turning this up a little bit. I apologize if it's too loud on the, maybe I'll just step back from my microphone a little bit.
Watched every second of that first trial, some videos more than once, because I took a lot of notes. And then I watched the pretrial hearings, and I watched, okay, so the reason I'm doing this video is because I want to show you some things that's been altered. And the good thing about if the state, which I believe they did, altered videos in the second trial, the feds can go in and get the court record. They can get, the things, they can go in and they can do analysis of videos, and they can determine the things have been altered. There's little details, but it's one of what got me on this was Officer Barrows.
This is good.
Because he made a comment when Hank was cross-examining him, and he was trying to make him act like his memory wasn't really reliable, and he points at a picture.
Knit Pearl, I'm sorry you don't know anything about this case and that we're going to be talking about it. I would prefer to talk about things that everybody knew, so everyone can be involved, and it bums me out, but this will still be interesting. It'll still be an interesting watch. And then I'll explain in the end for you, I'll give you the entire situation, wrap it up in a nutshell for you.
in the driveway when they did this fake mental health or, well, you know, wellness call on this house, pretending like they were concerned about the kids potentially being in the house, which was completely ridiculous because nobody asked them to go there, right? So this is John's friend. He is coming to pick up his daughter, okay? And he doesn't make any footprints in the snow. But I did last year in May, I did a video. There are so many different things I want to show you. I'm going to show you very specific details of different things that have been altered. And it's very important details as well, because it all evolves about
she's laying with
tail light.
Mama.
So first of all, there are footprints here. I did a poem last year. I'm going to show you. So this is a video that I did last year on May
watch this,
12th,
guys. You guys are going to be blown away.
And I'm using my phone, by the way, because if I render using a screen recorder, by the time I upload to YouTube, it'll compress it. And I need as much quality in these videos as I can. I know sometimes when I do a video with the phone, it might have some waves and stuff in there. But I'm trying to also want to hold my phone at an angle because I think it'll make it easier to see these footprints right here. This looks like somebody that might be a little tall. This looks like a wide stand.
So you see those footprints right there? Okay, hopefully you guys can all see it.
And it looks like they just bent down right here. This is her tail light right here. He did not make these. The video showing him going into the house, he did not make these. This is approximately 7-ish in the morning. Karen Reed did not make these because you saw the video of her leaving, going with Jen, and there was not enough snow to make footprints here, and she walked, there was no footprints there. So I did that in a further video. And so she did not make these. And so who made these footprints? Well, whoever deleted the videos out of the Ring app, that's who probably made these footprints.
Right.
And further, there was footprints that kind of went down. I did another video showing them going down the driveway and around where that tree was. But look at this. Check this out. This is from 1 month ago. Okay. This is from 1 month ago. It is completely clean. They cleaned this up. And you can tell it has a smoother effect. Look, I'm a content creator.
Now this is from this year, and see how they smoothed out this whole area. That's so easy to do. I could do it quickly, and I could even make it look better than that because you see where my mouse is at. I know it's probably really small on your guys's screens, but that line is basically where they tried to feather in the overlay.
I do a lot of editing. And I'm telling you, there's some things that have changed. And Officer Barrels, who being very observant, that's part of his skill as an officer, noticed when they showed a picture zooming in on.
And we'll talk about the reasons why I think they did that here in a minute.
Allegedly Karen Reed's car, trying to make it look like there was a tail light missing in her driveway, trying to get him to acknowledge that her tail light was missing while it was still in John O'Keefe's driveway. Guess what he said to them? He says, well, that doesn't look like John O'Keefe's driveway. And so I got to looking at it. Oh boy, let me show you.
Yeah, we're going to have to. Play it like this so you guys can see the whole thing.
This is what he was talking about. So when Officer Barrels was talking about, he showed the video of the car going up on the tow truck, and it had what the detective or whatever, trooper, whatever it was, Birkennick, tried to say that it had a white light. Well, it didn't. But boy, did they edit some videos, and I'm going to prove it to you. So this is the 8:23 a.m. Canton Police well-being check, which was a ruse for pretend like they went over there so that they can have a video on the dash cam to make it look like she had a damaged tail light in the driveway.
So this is the officer that went to tow the car. And this is the picture that they said was taken in front of John's house. Now I want you guys to notice, see the fence there, and see how the fence has those slats, kind of like on the right side and the right passenger side, and see the left side where they have those slats. Now just take note of that. And then you see the basketball hoop right there. Just take note.
Okay. But pay attention to the background because Officer Barrow sure did. I'm going to show you what I think he was looking at. But I know what I'm seeing. Look at this basketball hoop here. See this black frame right here? Okay, this black frame right here, that's the corner of the basketball hoop, which has a net in it. Now, look at this fence right here. It's got these slats here, and the height of it to this car. Her car is just a tiny bit taller than John's, but I would say this is probably a 4-foot fence, right? You can see somebody's yard over here, and then over on this side, these slats go all the way down to here, like right here where this rearview mirror is. Okay. And this fence, top of it doesn't even match over here. Now check this out. This is John O'Keefe's fence. He has a very nice 6-foot tall, completely private fence. Now there may be a little variation of the style over here.
But see how that fence is all solid?
Maybe because it abuts the neighbor's yard, and maybe they had a fence that's slightly different model than theirs. But as you can see, the top of it is even with this. So it is a 6-foot tall fence. Okay. And so as you can see, it's pretty much even with the top of John's car over here. And look at the corner of this basketball hoop. Now, granted, I don't know if that was one of those that you can lift up.
Now, the basketball hoop, it is one of those that you can lift up. Do you see how the basketball hoop has that base? Yeah, you can adjust the height of that. So the information she's talking about with the basketball hoop, that's here nor there. But the fence in itself was definitely not the fence from what we can see. But this isn't the good stuff. I mean, it's good. It's good. But
up and down as far as the height.
Yeah, the DA's in trouble.
Note it's pretty even with this right here.
The DA's in big trouble.
You don't see any slats going all the way down here. And again, the top of this is even with this. Now this is kind of where it's still a little bit dark out. Now let me show you in the daytime. Okay, this is her car. This was, before the accident or whatever. So notice again, this frame about even with the top.
See the top of that fence where both of our mouses are? That's the same top as this fence. It's just like a 4x4. It's probably like a vinyl fence. And even in back here in the back corner where my mouse is, I'll just kind of shake it real fast. That's all the same, even across here in front of that car. That's not the same fence that was in that picture. And so when Officer Burroughs said, wait, that doesn't look like John's driveway, no one even paid attention that he said that, because they couldn't prove it right then anyway. So why pay attention to it? But this is why Alessi and Alan Jackson, when they say like, look, we would state our lives that she was framed. Their lives. It's not just a defense lawyer defending a client. They would give their lives if they were wrong about this. Now, no one says that unless they're completely sure.
Top of this fence.
It's one of the reasons why I believe Jesus, because look at all the disciples that gave their lives in the end. Paul, all he had to do is say, yeah, Jesus is not God.
Here, this fence, even with the top of his car, and it's solid white fence.
Night, Antonia.
There might possibly be a little bit of a variation over here, but it's definitely the height of this fence over here on this side of this basketball court is the top of his car. Now let's go take a look at that photo again. So this is,
look at that, and look how low it is.
Officer Barrows was like, that doesn't look like John O'Keefe's driveway. I mean, they're making him look at the picture when they zoomed it in to try to say, this is what it looked like when it was being towed away. Like they're trying to discredit him, right? And he's like trying, just calls them right back on their nonsense. Like they gaslighting people. Look at this background. Where's the fence? Where's the fence? Hello? Why is this way down here and this is up here? Like it's still not even the right height, but like what the heck did they do to this photo? And it could be just a variation of lighting, but as you notice, there's a little bit more angulation here than there is over here. This looks almost up straight up and down. Again, this is not the same quality of video as this one, but I'm just saying this does look a little bit more angular.
She's tripping on that.
Than this one here. Okay, now watch this. I want to point out about this video clip right here because I went back to Court TV. All of us was like streaming off of Court TV in Boston, NBC 10 or whatever. And I went back to find last year's video clip of this. This is this guy's channel from a year ago. I have this same video that he does. Okay. I think his might be better quality. Mine is, for whatever reason, mine gets uploaded. I lose a little bit of quality. But anyways, his is 720. So you really don't want to watch these videos in less than 720. But at any rate, it's not there. I went to Court TV and I went, and maybe I missed it, but I looked and looked and looked and looked. And this clip that I'm getting ready to show you that changes is gone from their website. It's just gone. I can't find it. Maybe you can't, but I couldn't. Now, I'm going to show you some differences here in this video to the most recent video. By the way, in case you're somebody, because I'm going to be sharing this on various platforms, for my YouTube people, I know that a very small part of my channel is like legal stuff. This is about the Karen Reed trial. A lot of shady stuff going on. And so I covered a lot last year, and I set aside part of my time this summer.
Yeah, I love Rumpel. Rumpel's funny.
I already knew. Anyways, so she's now acquitted, but there's still the ongoing battle to get these people who are doing corrupt things with their power held accountable and exposed. So I want you to, as a content creator and an editor, okay, the coloration, now notice this has got like kind of a yellow color to it.
So basically what she's going to say here is that this is the video they showed last year, right, in court. This is from the court hearing. And the video they showed this year, the saturation was turned up really, really bright. And why that's an issue, well, first of all, I have another video that shows that they did a masking overlay that followed that all the way out to try to prove that the taillight was not broken, or was broken. I can't remember, but she's not going to talk about that. She's going to say, why did the DA turn up the saturation to make the colors more vivid? Is because they wanted to show, they wanted that red to be as prominent as possible, and they're not allowed to do that. But there, let's just watch, if I remember correctly.
But this has slightly blue, but look what, now what they did is they altered this video to add a lot of color. You can tell when they're changing the hues and they changing the saturation, and it completely changed. And when the reason they did that, and it only lasts for about a second, and then like all the coloring like changes, like I'll show you. But right here, when this car turns right here, they want this light to look white. So they needed to add to it, to alter it, to try to create that effect, which was debunked when they showed the tow truck video where, well, they scheming, basically. So just to show you the coloration here, the coloration of this window, and this
part isn't
right
really
here.
anything.
Now watch
major.
this. This is from a year ago. This
I almost
was the
want to
first
fast
trial.
forward.
Now pay attention to what they did the second trial. Now this is from a month ago. Now notice the fence over here. Okay, this is where she hits his vehicle and makes this tire over here move, and you can see there's equal completely red glow there. Now watch what happens. Now what I want to pause this for is look how green this is right here. That is not yellow. This is an altered video. This is where they've added hue and saturation. This is now, it looks like it's an alien ship. It's green. And look at the blue over here. My gosh, isn't that pretty? What a pretty hue of blue. And look at this. Oh my gosh, it's just so bright green. Yeah, I will put the links in the video and I will timestamp it so that way you can go and look on your computer and maybe you could probably see it a little better. this instead, this to just look more bright, basically. Okay. So here, let's compare this, which was 1 month ago, and these people also did not have the original video of this particular clip from last year. I couldn't find it. Go see if you can find it. Don't you find that interesting? So here's last year. Yellow, not green, lightly blue. It's got, more natural lighting. Now watch. And so you have this, and it has more of a natural color to it, not green. Compare this.
Yeah, Higgins is ATF. He's hit.
This.
Yep.
It may just be a slight variation, but it is an alteration for certain.
Okay, let's get past this part.
That's the system. That is not. I'm going to show you what an actual Lexus that's just modeling in some parking lot that's not her car looks like at night. See this little light right here? See the red here? This little yellow, it's almost got like an
this
oval.
Right here is what all the jurors are saying Karen Reed didn't hit him. This with the ARCA testimony, they're saying this absolutely, and with Burroughs saying no, the headlight or the tail light that they showed was the tail light that got towed, was definitely not the tail light that he's seen, is the reason why. So this is very important.
If you look to it, that's how it's supposed to look, literally. And then you have this red on the other side of it. Now watch. This is a comparison video that I did last year. This is a very bright parking lot that Lexus is parked outside, and it has a round, almost tubular look to it, almost like an oval look to it. This round thing. See all this red right here? See this? There's that white spot down there. Now look at this big, huge red chunk here that's supposed to be here. Now watch this. This is what they presented at trial. That entire piece that was down here, it's just gone. Crazy? That little.
They're saying that's how the Lexus looked when it got to the Sally port. See that big red chunk missing right there where the arrows are?
Clip that I just showed you, that was her car after she allegedly ran him over. And there's no red here at all. Let's look at that again. This big, huge chunk of red here, see that little round oval thing?
So
that light,
basically Higgins or Proctor went and broke that piece off.
That big chunk of red right here is completely gone after this car gets to the Sally port. So again, here is several hours later after they decided to, whatever his name is, broken.
Yeah,
the officer truck that it was. Hey guys, I have some details. Oh my gosh, that I have seen. Oval tubular look to it, oval look to it, and there's this big huge. It's just gone. This big huge chunk of red here, right here, and he said, "Oh, that's."
She has some more good stuff. I'm gonna get
on
to
this
it.
video of that tub that's being put on that from another picture, and his driveway doesn't look like his driveway, and as if I've showed the lighting on. Look at the slope in. Okay, this is when they took the whole thing out from the car to send it in. Look at how deep that slope is. Now watch. Whoop, wrong one. Look at this. That doesn't even match.
Yeah, it does look like a different model.
It doesn't even look like it matches to me.
It really doesn't.
Let's see that again.
I mean, I get it. Angles can be different, and
see, you see what I'm saying? The slant of that.
But that is a huge
that's more angled
difference.
Than this here. I mean,
it could be the angle.
They're just like they gaslighted the jury. Is what they did. So this is her car before the accident. They show this is, the driveway. And so you got this big chunk of red right here. Okay, all this is just yellow when you're engaging the lights. Now, when she backed that straight up, the tire track was like right here. So I would imagine that it would have been hit. The tail would have been hit right here, maybe a little bit over here. But Carrie testified that it was a tiny hole, like it was just a small crack. And I think when they went into her driveway, I think they messed with her tail light in her driveway. But then they figured, oh, well, there's got to be more damage to that tail light because obviously his injury is so severe. So they completely bashed it when they got into the Sally Port. That's why I think those are footprints, mysterious footprints that are there that are now completely washed from this in a normal day. On the other video, it adds up. And this is why the juror was just like, don't play us.
Yep. The jury was like,
the first trial, they had a juror and
that's it on this one.
Before the accident, after the accident, that big old piece right there, it's there. It's there. See it? It's there. See these footprints? They're there.
Footprints is just crazy, man.
And this, see, this
shadows,
is from,
see the shadows there.
May 12th last year. This is from a month ago. And that big old piece, see right here, that big old piece right here. This is at 5 something in the morning. And the accident was supposed to happen at 12 something at night. This is a few hours later. Look at that big old piece of red right there. This is what they say her taillight looked like. This is after they got into the Sally Port. Keep in mind, there was an officer who said she had a false memory. Because she saw Higgins and another officer's chief or whoever was over there by her taillight for a very long time. And then suddenly double salary. You're having false memories. Okay, well, maybe you shouldn't be a cop. You think?
Yeah, and just the cop that testified that Higgins and the chief, who's the chief of the police, is Higgins' best friend. Like they do everything together. Where she said she told the FBI, and I've talked about this before, so I'm sorry if it's redundant. She told the FBI that Higgins and the chief were in there for an abnormal amount of time. Now if you just said, oh yeah, they were there, okay, maybe you got that wrong. But to say, no, look, they were in there for a crazy abnormal amount of time, but then to say, oh no, that was a false memory. She's saving her job. I heard she did get a huge raise or whatever, but she works for a different force. But anyways, she has to live, eat, and breathe. It's all part of the blue line. But she could not lie to the feds, because if she lied to the feds, she'd go to jail. But to go to state court, obviously she had no problem lying, because she can't go to prison for it. She just can't.
But you think that's going to be okay with the jurors?
It's really good. It's really good. Damn, I had another thing I wanted to share, and now I can't remember what it was, because I wasn't really... oh man, what was it? Well, there's the Brian Higgins and the Jen McCabe family interview. You guys know I covered that. Yeah, Chief is dead now. I covered that, and it was so obvious. But when Higgins says, he's like, that's the part that blows me away the most. That it would be like 50 people would have to be lying to cover up this if we had anything to do with it. No, just your family would have to cover it up. That's it. That's the only people that would have to knowingly lie. Now Proctor did fudge the investigation, and he was covering for his boy Brian Albert. I don't want to say he was covering for Higgins. I don't really think him and Higgins. But, Brian Alberts probably said, hey, miss me in the part of the investigation. Just, you know what I mean? Nothing happened here. There is that. But other than that, it's like 6 people at the most, and 6 family members, basically. Of course, they would lie for each other. Just think of who you would lie for. Now, I mean, I get it. I get it. Lying's bad. And I get it, murder's bad, but I would lie for my wife. I would, and I would lie for one of my brothers. I would. in a second, unless they hurt a kid or something like that. Then no, of course I wouldn't. And I know John was a person too, and a human being. But if it was an accident, I would lie for my wife or a brother. I just would. And yeah, man. Yeah, went from like 38 grand. I love Danette. She has so much info on this, and she can always fact check me and have all the extra info. Thank you so much. Danette McClure says went from like 38 grand to 140 grand. Yeah. Yeah. Let that sink in for a second. Yeah. No, we'll do it like this. Wait, why is that messed up like that? Hold on, guys. I'm gonna refresh. Hopefully I don't lose you guys. I've done this before and I think I have. I'm gonna try to refresh. I hope I don't lose you. Booyah. Now I wanted to do the trick I was gonna do. Damn it. Why doesn't it want to do that? I really want this to work. Okay, one more time. Oh, it doesn't want to work. Sorry, guys. I was trying to be fancy with my camera. Are you AI? No, I'm not AI. No, I'm not AI. Thanks, John. I love you, brother. No, I was trying to do a trick where my camera goes in and out. Like how a lot of creators do it. I have a camera that'll do that now, but I can't get the function to work. See how my background is blurry? And I'm able to do some cooler things now because of this software that I have, and that matches one of my old Logitech cameras. Anyways, thank you. Yes, Hazley wanted to give me a spa day, so she did. She did my nails. She actually she did a foot mask on too, and I know it's weird, but yeah. So she put on the tops of my feet a mask, for your feet. It's supposed to be for the bottoms, but she just did the tops. She cleaned it, and then she painted my nails. And then today she wanted me to give me a makeover and put foundation and blush on me, but we were going to a church event and I didn't want to show up at the church. It was already bad enough I was showing up to church with blue fingernails. I didn't want to show up with makeup on. So yeah, she's the best. So anyways, I think that's all good news for the federal investigation. We are going to be here when it all goes down. I assure you, we are going to be here for when it all goes down, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it to happen. But yeah, we'll be covering that. Of course, Brian Kohlberger, we're going to be covering that, and I'm just going to be covering some judges and stuff from now on. I've been trying to figure out the best way to do this show, and where it's stuff that I'm interested in, so I can show some passion, but that what you guys are interested in too. I don't think I'm going to co-create with anybody anymore except for like Mac and Jen and Misha and Jimena. I'll do shows with a few people, but if you support me, I'll support you, or I support people that don't have to support me. That's not what I'm getting at. But I don't forget things. I don't count favors, but I don't forget favors. And if I feel like I've been used in any way, you're gonna see that I know, that I realize what happened. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, the Diddler, man. Tomorrow we'll be watching for the Diddy verdict. I know we didn't cover much of the trial. I'm gonna say this though. There's about a 60% chance he's gonna walk. How about them apples? There's about a 40% chance he's gonna go to prison for a long time. But he might beat it. He might beat it. The prosecution didn't prove a lot of what they said. And depending on the jury, I don't know what the makeup of the jury is. I wish I did. If I knew what the makeup of the jury was, I could give you a way better percentage and almost predict what the jury's going to do. And that's without having watched most of it. That's just me going on reports and end of the day recaps that I've happened to catch here and there. But the things that I know that the prosecution didn't prove on the Sean Diddy Combs trial is enough for the jury to go either way. Because it could feel like to the jury that that they're trying to prosecute P. Diddy's lifestyle and not any crimes. Now that's without saying, they have a video of him beating up Cassie Ventura. But he's not being charged for domestic violence. And, he's being charged on a RICO Act, and they dropped the kidnapping, they dropped the arson, they dropped I think the arson wasn't even a charge. They dropped some things, right? And I just don't think. Yeah, surely not. The jury is quite diverse and almost 50-50 male, female. Yeah, I would want to know their race too. And I know that shouldn't matter, but it does. It does matter in this. And I would want to know which female and which male, because a female black juror per se is going to vote a lot differently than a male black juror. And it just depends on how they're, like, what I can pinpoint by the way they dress. Now I know they're going to wear the best, outfits to court, and and to be not wear their gangster hip hop, uniform, or but I could tell you who is going to hold out and who's not. I really can. I really can. I'm pretty good at it. And I've been right many times. I know the Karen Reed trial was easy, but I called it from the very beginning. There's no way in hell, not in a million years. But so did we. We all did. We all did. I'm not saying I'm Nostradamus or anything when it came to Karen Reed. But 3 black girls, okay, 2 black boys, 3 black girls, 2 black boys. Okay, John, and so 5 Caucasians. Yeah, man, it might be 50-50, but I think it's more like 60-40 that he could get off. No, I believe you, John. I believe you, John. But here in America, we don't call African Americans boys. It's just I know you're not a racist. I know you didn't mean anything racial by it. That's what made me laugh. It's just because I know you're not from here, but we just don't use the word boy. It was a racial slur that they used back in the late 1800s, early, mid 1800s, maybe all the way into the 40s and 50s. It was a pretty bad racial slur. But we all know you meant nothing by it. but that's why I laugh, because I know you don't know anything about it. Yes, he is awesomely unique, and I love him like a brother. I do, Spokes. He is definitely one of a kind. Yep, he sure is. John, please, I hope you heard what I said. We know you are not a racist. I hesitated in even mentioning it, but I didn't, want you to fub up again. I love you, brother. Yeah. 2 black dudes. There you go, my man. 2 ninjas. Had 2 ninjas and 3 ninjets. That's funny. But yeah. So yeah, we got that coming this week. Some Carmelo Anthony stuff. I know that Carmelo's got called into court for some reason. Dude's work's good. There's a lot of controversy on Carmelo Anthony. I did a little bit of a show on it really late last night. Carmelo got about $600,000 in donations for legal fees, specifically for legal fees. And now he just applied for an indigent lawyer, a free lawyer, and put out on GiftSendGo that he needs another, $700,000. So they're saying he needs $1.4 million. So basically the family doesn't give a shit about him, are spending through the money on whatever they're spending it on. Got a free lawyer because they know he's effed regardless. So a free lawyer can make as good a deal as a paid lawyer. They really can. But if you're going to fight a case, you definitely want a paid lawyer. Regardless, the black community isn't buying it. They're not buying it. He's lost almost all support from his community. They are upset. So I might do a show on that. Time, Sam. Oh, time tomorrow. I do have to do a few things. Let's do it early. Let's do it like at what time do you think, Danette? What's a good time? I can do it anytime between 9 and 1 o'clock. I want to know what's a good time for you guys, because I don't want to be too early for you guys that sleep in. I don't want to do it too late because a lot of people are out doing their thing. So Danette wakes up at noon. I know. Let's just say 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock Mountain Time. We'll do it, and it should be really good. We never got a press briefing at 12:30 a.m. Oh, geez, that's going to be late. And that's Idaho time, so that's 9:30 p.m. Oh, no, 9:30 p.m. Pacific time, so 10:30 our time. Dang, they're going to do the... they're going to do the press conference. Should we hang out to the press conference? I think we shall. I think we shall hang out to the press conference. I might even make a cup of coffee. Hey, did I ever show you guys this? I think I did. I think when I did my testimony, I showed you guys my Costco badge. You know, they were mad that I didn't turn this in. Yeah, we're gonna hang out, Jackie. How about them apples? Do you guys like fruit? What do you think of them apples? Did he spend 10 million on 10 lawyers? I bet he has. I bet he has, folks. Has Sean Atwood covered the Diddy trial at all? I haven't been on his channel in a while. Oh, hold on. I got to take this thing off. It was giving me a headache. So, yeah, Costco boy. AM, right? I'm going to do it in the morning. Yeah, but you know what? They're not going to have the verdict by then. So I'm going to do a show in the morning, and then we're going to verdict watch. So if you guys hear that they've got a verdict, then I'm going to break in before the verdict so we can all watch together. And we can be like, damn, Sam was wrong. He's going to prison. I love grapes too. Danette. Does anybody know how Kim's doing? Not our Kim from, well, I guess she is from Canada too. Tissa Tells is in the courtroom giving us lives during breaks. Yeah, I love Tissa. Tissa's amazing. Isn't she amazing? She's super smart. Yeah, I don't watch Atwood anymore either. It just got too weird on his show, man. I don't understand the crystals, people turning into crystals and all those weird shows he does. Yeah, Spoke says purple grapes are my favorite. I got some grapes the other day, and I think they're called like candy grapes or something like that. I haven't had them like in a really, really long time, but they were red, but they were sweet like sugar, like real sugar. And they were crazy good. And have you guys ever froze grapes? Eaten frozen grapes? Super good. I always forget to do it when I buy them. Yeah, Tissa's got jumping beans in her pants. That's right. She's got ants in her pants. That's funny you say that, John, because I commented on that one time. I told her she had ants in her pants. I said, Tissa, you got ants in your pants. Cotton candy grapes. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Oh my God. They were delicioso. They were super delicious. And don't worry, guys, I'm watching for the press conference. Yeah, they were so good. They were so good. Man, she's hyper, but good though. Yeah, she's really good. Yes, frozen grapes are amazing. Just says she's going places. I think so. I think she is too. She's real aggressive, but you know, when you don't have a family and you're you're single, like I don't wish I was single or didn't have a family, but I always think to myself, like, especially with my legal channel would be making 50 grand a month right now if I was single. Because and I'd be over 100,000 subscribers, but because of the things that happen and just not being able to spend as much time with it as I could, it's gone backwards. And, you know, now, yeah, I'm growing in subscribers, but my ranking is all messed up. And I know you guys have supported the legal channel and watched the videos, but it's just, there's so many legal channels. You really have to be unique and you have to be consistent. And I am not consistent. People love consistency, even with this channel. Like, I've lost so many subscribers. I'm starting to get more subscribers now, new ones, which is good. But you have to be consistent. And if you're not consistent, you lose your ranking and you lose the confidence in your viewers. And so I am going to be on every day. I don't have a consistent time yet because things are so fluid. You know, Hazley's on summer break, but I would love just to do a show every day of me like this. Oh, I lost it. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Boom, boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, I want to do a show every day with me like this next to a news story. You know, maybe not quite so big in the head, but and just do commentary. That's it's gonna get weird again for a second. Sorry, guys, but I have to unzoom. Hey, oh. Yep, I gotta unzoom myself. If that one's like that, I need to be backed up a little bit. Don't worry, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. There we go. Save. Down. Now I gotta restart the browser. I don't know if it looks funny to you guys, but it looks funny to me. Sorry, I thought that was just on my end. I thought I knew it was getting weird. Or I mean, I thought it was I thought I was streaming. Oh yeah, I did. I shrank. Okay. But anyways, I just want to be just like this. No funny business. Just straightforward. We'll talk about things that are important, then recovery. We'll go to the chat. I'll announce super chats, at the end, and have just a consistent show. Oh yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, consistency is key. Thank you, Shell Dub. And hi, how are you doing this evening? I know you were here earlier. But yes, consistency is key. So I make a promise to you guys, the original Samsters, that I will be consistent. And I will not miss shows. Now I am going camping this weekend, I hope. It just depends. Rent is due. It's the end of the month. I don't know what's going to happen. But my buddy, he offered to pay for the gas. So and we have, plenty of food because, I've planned for, the American Holocaust, when it comes to food. So we'll just take food out of the pantry and go. So that'll be basically free. But still, you don't want to go, broke. And so we're getting that figured out. Anyways, still nothing. What time is it? 10:20. What can we talk about? Let's talk about something cool. Jackie, let's see what Jackie's saying. At 64, I'm asked if I would change anything in my life. I thought about it. 2 kids, an ex-husband that served in the Army. Rest in peace. Yes, rest in peace indeed. No water, no plumbing, and living the way I want. Not a thing. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. I would I mean, I love my life. but I do wish it was more simple. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to be honest. I wish it was simplified more, but it's not. And I think it's just because I'm getting older and I'm ready to rest. I've been working my entire life. Um, I feel like I've given more than I've received,
I am not seeing anything
and
new at
that
the
my
moment.
karma is good, you know, and that I have salvation through the blood of Jesus Christ. I am draped and covered in His blood. I am under His blood, saved. I just wish it was a little easier, but I just don't think that's ever going to be in store for me. With a kid, with Hazley, I can't, I can't make those things simpler. And I spoil her, and not with like material things. We spoil Hazley with love, and I really feel sorry for her husband because I'm the example of the man that should be in her life. And I know that sounds egotistical, but I feel sorry for her because I pamper her. I don't know who was all here last night, but where's my phone? Oh, she got my phone. The little rascal. But I gave her a spa day yesterday, and I got a picture of her with a mask on, a hand masks, cucumbers on her eyes, and candles with her feet in a foot bath, like a like a massaging foot bath. Yeah, and she's 6, and so her husband is in for it, or any boyfriend that she has in college, or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Thank you, John, for the don't touch an axe, white boy. Yeah, thanks, John. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'll try not to touch any axes. Yep, not a one. I have some star comments here. Oh, that was from Spokes. Yeah, thanks, guys, for the super chats tonight. Where we at? Comments. The yeah, YouTube's a trip. You're an awesome man. That's him. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do believe that I am. It's one of my greatest changes. Like, I was a good dad to my first 3 girls. Like, I was the same guy. I wasn't saved, so that was a little different. But I was definitely a different style of dad then. And my older daughters, are like, man, I wish we would have had this dad. And I was like, what do you mean? I was good. They're like, no, you were a good dad, but we can tell you love her like more than life, and I do. Like, I would die for her. I would die for her today to add a year of her onto her lifespan. I really would. What are you joking about, John? Oh, don't touch an axe. I know that, my boy. Spokesextras at Jackie. I lived like that when I lived on a croft in my 20s. We would take the horses the 3 miles to local shops. It was idyllic. You are so awesome, Sam. That's so lovely. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Spokes. And you were missed, Spokes, for sure. I am so glad you're here and okay and back. The other night I asked about I'm starring your comment, Danette. I asked about Grateful. I did get an email from her. She's on vacation, and her husband been driving around. I think they're back from vacation now, but she said that when when they were driving on the highway, they were listening to one of our shows, and I asked, I'm like, hey, has anyone heard from Grateful? So she thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Dinesh says, comment, Dad's taking us camping this weekend. Perfect. I sure am. And I'm taking, are you saying your dad's taking you guys camping too? Or you mean like I'm the dad and we're all going camping? Hooray to both. Both are awesome. I can't play it from this end, John. In StreamYard, it doesn't let me connect to links, but hold on. Let me go to, wait, no, let's not do it that way. I will go to the show like I'm a listener or a watcher, and then I'll play it from there. Dun, 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 dun. 1 second. Yes, I am live. That's funny. It just did that. Okay, here we go, John. And now, coming to you from After the Bars, it's John Lazon. Danette, I did not email Grateful. She emailed me and just said that they were listening to me on the road and they heard that episode where I asked. So, no, I didn't return. I haven't returned any emails, but you told me to check your emails that day, and I did. And the ones, remember, I checked them right on the live. I just want to remind myself of what they were. Oh, we can't miss this either.
That's the best I can tell you because
John, that was dope. That video was dope. Hold on, I need to go to my emails.
But it is not started yet.
Jade, Nicole, Squishmallows.
Thank you, Max Lovins, Bottled Scarab.
Yeah, Danette. This is Sam. That's Linda's daughter in the chat. Yeah, remember I checked the ones, and then Sam, you gotta quit apologizes for those damn.
Donnie Trevor.
Yeah. Remember, I read those.
XP7ED.
And Danette, I looked for any older ones, and I couldn't find any. And I went back pretty far, unless I missed them.
It's like they're getting close again.
But I promise you guys, I'm going to get better at checking the emails. I talked about the anxiety I have with emails.
Will the governor speak at this press conference?
I'm going to get better about it, especially moving forward.
Conference.
Let me pause that. yeah, I'm gonna get better at doing the emails now that I'm gonna do the consistent shows so the show can grow so I can make a living. Do you know what I mean? I have to do it. And if checking emails is a part of that, and not just for you, Danette, but like for everyone, that's not a problem. But I do have an anxiety about texts and emails, and it's like an agoraphobia. It's really weird. Okay. Awesome. Thanks. and dude, not dude, you, Danette, but the I'm going to get a consistent, solid way for you guys to call in. And I feel like the Zoom thing kind of worked good because people could be in the waiting area. But I don't know. That's another cost. And Lynn, thank you so much for the donation on the GoFundMe. Thank you. You've been a huge support, and I don't expect that from you, and I appreciate it. And I can't wait for us to all have dinner. I told Mariana about that today, and she was like, the ones that sends the positive pictures and things on Facebook. I'm like, yep. She's like, no way. I was like, yeah. So, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, the call-in shows are really cool, man. They're really super cool. Yes, I know. And you know what? I will try to call you tomorrow, Danette. Oh yeah, see, that's just it. But here's the thing, Jackie. So if you watch it, if you watch on TV, you can call in. So yeah. But if you're watching on your phone, which you probably aren't because you're a flip phone user, then here we go. Here we go.
Great response. We had the Spokane County shooting during fire. Quick, we have preacher.
Here we go, guys.
We're going to introduce everybody that's up here. Chairman of the BOCC is Bruce Matari. We have Lieutenant Jess Stinson from the Idaho State Police. We have Bill DeRuyter from the Portland Lake Police Department. And we have Pete Hawley from the Cooney County Fire and Rescue. And we're going to go through a quick timeline. This is still a very, very fresh investigation. So, an incident. So many of these facts might change, but they are evolving as we speak. At approximately 1:20, there was a fire on the backside or east side of Canfield Mountain. Fire assets responded to the scene, and at approximately 2 o'clock, firefighters broadcast that they were being shot at on Canfield Mountain. During that next hour and a half, where we have assets that are responding to the aid of these firefighters, we still have an active fire. We are managing about 17,000 square foot containment area. We are requesting other law enforcement agencies to assist us. We had a great response. We had the Spokane County Sheriff's Office respond.
There we go.
The FBI, many agencies responded right here in Idaho, Bonner County, Shoshone County, Kellogg. So we had about 300 law enforcement officers that were on scene that were trying to make heads and tails out of what was occurring. And during this time, we exchanged gunfire with the suspect, and we also got information. We received information
from the White.
His stream has a little delay in it, but it's
From Governor Brad Little and also Raul Labrador, that anything that we needed, that they would absolutely receive. So we had a lot of assets that came into that command post. And then we had a briefing about 6:30, about 18:30 hours at the command post. And in that briefing, about 6:30, about 18:30 hours as soon as command post. This individual can be neutralized. Gave an update to the agencies that this is still an active shooter, and that as soon as this individual could be neutralized, that he should be neutralized, and the threat should be eliminated as quickly as possible. At approximately 1940 hours, we did have information that let me back up just a second. We had a cell phone activation that was in the same spot since about 3:16. And that it was in the same area. And we honed in on that cell phone, and we saw that there was a male, appeared to be deceased, with a weapon nearby. So we have currently one dead shooter. Based on the preliminary investigation that was being conducted, keep in mind we had a fire.
You guys can't
that
see me?
was rapidly.
No, you can see me.
It was approaching the body, so we had to scoop up that body, and we had to transport that body to a different location. But based on the preliminary information, we believe that is the only shooter that was on that mountain at that time. So there is no threat to the community at this time. Based on the trajectory and based on the type of weapons that this individual had that we could recover, we believe only the one shooter. We did lose a Coeur d'Alene firefighter, and we did lose
Nicole.
a firefighter from the Kootenai County
We love
Fire and
you.
Rescue. We have another firefighter that just.
I know, Nicole. I've been seeing you all around. I saw you in a couple of chats the other day. 2 different creators too. It was on your birthday, but yeah, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping in. We love you.
Came out of surgery from the Coeur d'Alene Police Department. I'm sorry, from the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department. Right? Is that true? Okay. He just came out of surgery. He is fighting for his life, but he's in stable condition. So we knew that our resources were exhausted. That if this were to prolong into a 24 or 48 hour operation, we would need additional helicopters. We had 2 helicopters that were up, and we had snipers in them. So if they had an opportunity to take a shot, then we wanted them to take that shot. We wanted to neutralize.
Yeah, he said that
threat.
earlier too.
And Chief, is there anything that you'd like to say?
Nicole, I don't talk about Trump no more. You've been missing all my exciting.
Right now, like I said, this information is very, very preliminary. And if you have a questions, just
show news.
Ask who you'd like that question directed to, and we'll try to answer it.
I mean, I still support him, but we're not going to do politics anymore.
Are you able to share anything about these firefighters? If they, just try to, anything about them at all? Or is there anything else you can give us?
We are not going to name the firefighters at this time. And there was a procession from Kootenai Health to the Spokane Coroner's office, but their families will need support.
Aiden Brown, Creme 2 News. You mentioned 3 firefighters that, have been shot Was there any other first responders or personnel that were injured during this operation?
No. As of right now, those are the only 3 that we have. We believe that everybody is off the mountain, so any civilians that were hiking during that time, we believe it's likely, had they been injured, they would have came forward.
There was a belief at some point that there could have potentially been a second shooter. I know that you're still early, but you have been able to essentially eliminate that thought process.
And we believe, based on the information that we've been able to collect, that we believe that there was only one shooter. And we based it on the weapons that we found at the scene, the type of injuries that were incurred by that weapon. So as of right now, from a very preliminary determination, we believe that there was only the one shooter.
And I know it's early, but do we have any sort of background on this person or any motive?
Nope. Black shirt.
Aaron from Range Media. Do we know if the person, you just said we don't have any background on him, do we know if he's possibly like from here or did he move here and we don't know the identity?
We need to wait until a positive identification is made.
Thank you.
Did the suspect shoot himself? Do we know that?
We don't know at this point in time. So the coroner's office will conduct their investigation. So as of right now, we don't know.
He had to have taken himself out. They would have said they took a shot.
Are you able to give any insight on if you think there was a connection between the fire and the shooter?
We do believe that the suspect started the fire, and we do believe that it was an ambush and it was intentional. And we do believe that he started it, and it was totally intentional what he did. In the back there in the tan.
Did he make the 911 call?
There was a gentleman that made the 911 call. He did not identify himself as the shooter. So as of right now, we don't believe that he's the one that made the 911 call. But, that could change because many times people don't use their real names and what have you, so.
Any description of the suspect at
No,
all?
not at this time, no. Gentleman in the red hat.
Brian, Neil, KXOY. Does the fire present any problems with you as you're trying to collect evidence?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we scooped up that body, and as far as the preservation of the scene, it's not perfect in this particular situation, but it's something that had to
the
be
whole
done.
mountain.
So you have to evaluate each particular circumstance, and at this time, we felt like since the fire was approaching, we needed to scoop up that body, and it's contained, so there are law enforcement personnel that are up there, and we will conduct the investigation, continue tomorrow morning. Crews will be there all night. So yeah, it's compromised, sure, but we have to do what we have to do to preserve the body. So
what was the weapon?
We're not, like I said, we don't know if there's more weapons up there that he had. There is a belief that he ran and shot. So we don't know what we might be collecting once the fire threat diminishes. The gentleman in the black shirt.
Are other federal agencies involved?
Absolutely, yeah. We on a large operation like this, if we had to fuel helicopters, and there are some helicopters that had some really good technology that were able to pinpoint where that cell phone activity was. So there was our federal partners assisted us in this situation. 100% they did.
What location did you find the suspect?
Not too far from the original call for service. Yeah. Not too far. Anybody I haven't called on? All right, gentleman with black shirt.
You said you picked up the cell phone signal around 3:16, I believe.
Yes.
How long was it?
There's Nicole's Squishmallow. That is probably one of the cutest Squishmallows I've seen.
So quickly, we could not preserve the scene like traditionally we would like to. So we believe that there's a likelihood that when we are able to enter the scene again tomorrow without the threat of fire, that we'll find other weapons that were placed. This was a total ambush. These firefighters did not have a chance.
Sheriff here with the spokesman review. Can you just describe the terrain and how difficult it was, or maybe how simple it was to access that area?
You know, when you have an environment where you don't know where the bullets are coming from because of the trees and the shrubbery and what have you, it is daunting for police officers, let alone firefighters who were there just to put out the fire. So it's very, very difficult. Very difficult for drones or helicopters to see any individuals up there. So this was a total ambush, taken by surprise, and it's unfortunate. So.
Sure, firefighters deal with ambush. I mean, police deal with ambush all the time, but firefighters, are they trained in that type of situation?
No, this is something that we don't train for. It's not something we expect. It's not something our firefighters should have to deal with. In this situation, they were called to a grass fire, which is already something that we're very heightened and are anxious about this time of year. And they were doing everything the way that they were supposed to do it.
Can we get an update on the fire? Do you have any sort of acreage or containment information?
It's about 20 acres, but unfortunately, you know, we weren't able to put any resources on it because of the gunfire exchange. So, man in the white there.
Sheriff Doris, reading with Crime 2. This is the week of 4th of July. First responders are already on defense with, you know, this coming week. Just emotionally tell me how it feels to have something happen like this, especially with, you know, such important authorities that are super important for a week like this too.
Yeah, I haven't, it hasn't sunk in yet. I mean, this is a situation where
I didn't
think
think of that.
a lot of us in this room has processed this. So, you know, this community supports firefighters and law enforcement.
Any structures lost in the fire?
No, not at this time, no.
Is there any specific information about the actual location of where the shooter was at? Like, is there like, and I don't want to say like an address, but like maybe like coordinates or anything like that?
We might be able to get that for you later, but I don't have that information.
Okay, I'll call later. Thank you.
You know, I would like to say something. There was some information that was broadcasted on social media, and it's very, very important.
YouTube.
You know, these firefighters and police officers, in some cases, have family, and for some of this information to have been broadcasted, I hope we can ask with our social media and our First Amendment auditors and our civilian journalists to take in consideration what you're putting out there on the social media, because it can be devastating it's devastating when somebody knocks at your door to tell you something like this, but to hear about it on social media, I'm just asking for people to be considerate in the most significant of injuries and times. So,
Federal apparatus, I'm wondering what the White House has committed to on the FBI and Homeland Security.
We had helicopters and personnel on the ground probably within the hour.
Also, in follow-up to that, this is obviously going to hit our community incredibly hard. It already has. I know, again, it's early. what can we do for the families? Will there be a memorial fund set up? Will there be some sort of way that we can, as a community, come together to support them? Because this is a devastating loss and people want to put that emotion somewhere.
Yeah, you know, we're grieving as an organization, and I can speak for Fort Lane Fire as well. So a lot of those steps not be completely brought to fruition, especially with it being a weekend. We know that the Red and Blue Foundation and Angry Coffee has already offered to do a lot of the donation collection, and we appreciate that. They've been a great supporter of law enforcement and fire, and they'll continue to be a good partner for us. So that's where I would initially encourage people to seek to provide some support for the families.
I'd like to add, until a press release comes out by these two agencies, do not give money to a entity that says they're representing these people. They will put out a press release with the information, whether it's going to be an account at a bank or an account at another entity, but we will likely have some people that will try to scam based on this tragedy. So
yeah, we're going to get lots of scammers.
Do not give money to any entity until a press release is released. Is that fair to say? On where exactly to give this money.
Can you say sort of what you're doing for your firefighters right now? Just because I know.
I would say it's very early on. They're just processing this right now. So I mean, they're in shock. So is that a fair statement?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say let's give it a day or two. And
we have mobilized peer support groups from all over the region for our people, and so that is something that we've already put in place. But like Sheriff has said, we don't know exactly all the extent of what we're going to need to do for our people just yet.
I did get the information that said White Hawk helicopters were also committed, and that we needed to go.
The Idaho National Guard was prepared to provide a Black Hawk should we need one.
So here.
To your knowledge, is there any special significance to either June 29th or to the mountain that has happened?
No.
Is there any information you have on when the firefighters were shot at to begin with? Was it when they were actively fighting, or was it when they first arrived?
At approximately 1,400 hours.
Okay.
Is there a potential for this situation to shift policy or add policies to the fire department anyway? I know you guys said earlier that it's really early. So
yeah. As a rule, you know, what's predictable is preventable. In this situation, I'm just not sure how it could have possibly been predicted.
Sure.
So it's really hard to policy that out, but we will be doing a complete review.
You know, you can anticipate or expect some of these things to occur in a urban setting. You can. I've seen it myself. However, in a rural setting, this is very, very, very rare in a rural setting. I mean, I've never seen it. Seen it many times in an urban setting. I have not seen it in a rural setting. Yes, sir. Well, you got the last question. Lucky you.
How
it's a super sad situation.
When they arrived there, was it pretty immediate?
Understand.
Shots rang out, or were they doused in water?
Do you know what time they arrived on scene?
My understanding is that they were
I don't understand the desire
fire initially, and that there actually was not any active firefighting.
I'm sorry, the desire to hurt first responders in anything. If a terrorist or a bad guy, a bad actor, a drug cook, you know, with a clandestine laboratory, I just don't get the deal. Why people would want to hurt them, or hurt their own children, or hurt anybody. But first responders especially, there's just something about that is extra evil. So yeah, I don't understand. Sorry, guys.
at that point. So it was right early on in the incident.
And there was only one fire. I know that there was, misinformation out there that there were multiple fires started, but there was just the one fire.
Correct.
Fire. Can you spell it?
The last name is Holley, Holley.
The Idaho State Police is handling the officer-involved shooting aspect of this investigation. If you have any questions to them, or our commissioner, the chairman of the board, Bruce Matari, where he's like this, say anything.
No, say something. There's, my name's Bruce Matari. I am the chairman of the board of the county commissioners in Kootenai County. First, I want to extend my most sincerest condolences to the loved ones of the firemen we lost today. I give my prayers to those injured and fighting for their lives. What happened was senseless and tragic beyond words. I also want to highlight the incredible rapid response from Sheriff Norris and his office, and how they rallied quickly with surrounding law enforcement agencies at the local, state, and federal level, and that includes outside the state in Washington. They quickly contained the suspect and prevented him from further harm to others. The response was phenomenal. June 29, 2025 is a day that we will not forget in this community.
That's right.
It is the day evil showed its face, and we lost two outstanding professionals of the highest quality. And I cannot fathom why anyone would commit such a heinous act. This kind of senseless violence is unheard of here. As the sheriff had mentioned, this is not who we are as a community.
Oh, the evil showed its
When you
face.
hear how others portray the people who live here on the news, it's not true. What happened here decades ago is not reflective of the fine people who live here today. And I want everyone to know that this is a wonderful place to live, to raise your family, and visit. It is a place that is comprised of caring and considerate people who look out for each other. And we, this community, will look out for those who are grieving from this tragic loss of their loved ones today. And I ask that the people watching allow time for this community to heal from this unbelievable loss. And I also want to thank the fact that, the resources are here and that they've been made available at the state level to support our local law enforcement and even at the federal level. It was an outstanding response. And Sheriff Norris and his,
Amen, brother.
his office deserve all the credit for that. So thank you.
You look like you had one more.
I had
question.
one more,
All
yeah.
right.
You said Washington and Idaho first responded, but I thought I saw mutual aid license plates from Montana. Can you comment at all about if Montana delivered any mutual aid?
I believe Montana was on scene also, yes.
Of course we were.
Sorry, one more, just real quick. Are there any evacuations planned for the fire?
At this time, no. But I encourage you, if you haven't signed up for Kootenai Alerts, to make sure that we sign up for Kootenai Alerts. And that is the best way. We did send out an alert for people to shelter in place at this time, if you're in that impacted area. So Kootenai Alerts is a great way to stay informed. Okay, thank you.
All right, so
And I know we
I
have
want to take a second here.
I know we have some atheists in our community, and that's okay. But and I just say this, just out of love for my Creator. The good thing is most first responders are Christians, and I'm not saying that they're better or I'm better or they're better. I'm just saying that comforts me knowing that they that there's no doubt that they are where they're supposed to be with our Heavenly Father. And that does comfort me. It really does. And I only preface that to the atheists in saying that doesn't mean I don't think you're going to heaven or that you don't deserve heaven or eternal life. Like I'm like, oh, well, you don't get it and we do. That's unknown to me. I know what the Bible says about it. Through faith alone is the only way, that he is the way, the light. But I know some Christians believe we can pray for someone's salvation, and I know that's a touchy subject. Anyways, all I'm saying is this, and I'm Sam-splaining it to death, is that I know they are where they're supposed to be. And, it was God's will and it happened. And, sometimes evil happens. Just like shit happens, evil happens. So, yeah. Well, you guys, I thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with me today. This evening, it wasn't the best situation, but I'm glad we watched it together, and we got to talk about some other things. We got to talk about Karen Reed a little bit, and yeah, that's awesome. I think that's awesome. So I will be back tomorrow morning. I don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna find some kind of cool news stories to cover tomorrow. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and then I'll see you guys Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and so on. And we're going to have a great month this month. June is behind us. July is upon us. We have Independence Day coming. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be spending that with you guys together too. I won't be around fireworks, so it'll be nice and quiet, way up on top of a mountain. And that's where I'll need to be by the end of this week for sure. So remember, be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. And I will see you guys tomorrow.
Stay loud. Don't be woke. Stay wild. Stay awake. This was morning